Hello, everyone. Welcome to Durrett's Take. It's another week of NFL games, another week for my reactions to each of them, and another week to meet my predictions for next week. So let's get started. From the Thursday night football game last week between the Saints and the Cardinals, basically the Saints got in their own way again with turnovers and penalties. Arizona was struggling on offense coming to this game, a while getting DeAndre Hopkins back definitely helped for Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. The Saints defense still looks bad with the defensive head coach and Dennis Allen. Luckily, since his division is apparently bad, they still have a shot to win it, but they need to get things on the right track here. Falcons versus Bengals. Bengals offense finally looked like what it did towards the end of last year. Now again, Atlanta had backup cornerbacks in, so that's a factor there. But still, they finally looked good, and explosive on offense. All the big plays that you see from last year were showing up in this game. We'll see if they can continue on with this big play type of theme here, if they're kind of revert back to the beginning of the season where you have to make long plays, sustaining drives. Lions versus Cowboys. If you didn't watch this game, don't let the final score of 24-6 to fool you. Cowboys were very lucky to win this game. It took a fumble from Detroit running back Jamal Williams, who has never fumbled in his 6-year career in the NFL to now, at the goal line, and then obviously um, Tony Pollard's goalie doing everything to kind of get the win here. I expect a rush from Dak, but I didn't think it'd be that bad. But he definitely needs to play better next week against a sharp Bears defense. Colts versus Titans. Titans basically gained control of the division now. Tannehill got injured his ankle there, so we'll see if Malik Willis has to start this Sunday night, because that'd be pretty interesting, see, okay, like he's supposed to be potentially the future once the Titans are finally ready to move off Tannehill, so it's like we'll see how that goes. And then for the Colts, now that they benched Matt Ryan and we'll have Sam Ellinger, it's like, while that will help because Sam Ellinger is mobile and all that and younger, at the same time, it's just like, well, the Colts are still having a bad offensive line. The Colts still have issues on, at the Jonathan Taylor's not getting the job done like he did last year. Like they still have issues that Ellinger is not going to suddenly fix, but we'll see if it even helps at all. Packers versus Commanders. Packers once again blew a lead. The panic button has now been hit, in my opinion. They travel to Buffalo next game, which is a loss. They're going to be 3-5. Can they overcome a 3-5 record? I will say they can beat the Bears again. They sweep the Lions, and then they can beat the Vikings at home. Then they have a shot to sneak in as a wild card. But if they drop any of those games, then the writing may already be on the wall. Buccaneers versus Panthers. Bucks offense is officially awful now. Since the division's bad again, they can still make the playoffs and win division, but the division's looking like the NFC East from a few years ago, where Washington had a losing record and still won the division, made the playoffs. That's what I'm kind of thinking might happen in this division of the Bucks. Giants versus Jaguars. Giants once again barely find a way to win. They did sustain some key injuries. Ivan Neal, offensive tackle, they're tight end Bellinger, so we'll kind of see how that kind of shakes out. But as long as Daniel Jones plays efficient and Saquon Barkley does his team, then Giants are playoff bound. Browns versus Ravens. Ravens once again struggle on offense against a mediocre at best Browns defense, but with the Bucks defense on the horizon, the Ravens needs to get that side of the ball kind of figured out. Jets versus Broncos. Jets got the win, but it basically cost them their season here because while receiver Corey Davis doesn't have a long-term injury, he should be back soon. Both rookie running back Breece Hall and star offensive tackle Elijah Vera Tucker are both out for the year now, which is bad because the offensive line is already in shambles as it is for the Jets with Mekhi Becton now and Fant out, and now you have and then the rookie Mitchell. So now it's 4 offensive linemen that are out for most of the year, if not the whole year. So that's not good for Zach Wilson there. And then obviously Breece Hall, that the offense has been running through him the past couple of weeks. Now I do like the addition of them picking up running back James Robinson from the Jaguars. That would definitely help. So him and Michael Carter is a nice duo there. It's not a Holland Carter duo. It's not, but it's close enough. But the Jets have to do is that I know they've been kind of, run, not put the ball in Zach Wilson's hands a lot, but we got to see what Zach Wilson has. You got to open the playbook more up to him, and if you don't, and if he makes mistakes that cost you, then you don't have the guy. But But if he can succeed like he did against the Steelers, where even though he threw 2 interceptions, he came back and had good fourth quarter performances because the ball was in his hands, not just running the ball constantly. Then there you go. So you have to at least try. Maybe not in this game since Belichick. He schemes up pretty good or against the Bills, but all the other teams they play, you got to try it. Um, Texans versus Raiders. Texans bad run defense continued to show, making Jacobs look like a top 3 running back in this league. Raiders, after a slow start, started after this bye week with a pretty good win here. Now, I still feel like that 1-4 hole the Raiders were in will be too much to dig out of, but I do think they could hover around 500, and they make things interesting by this if they can continue the way they're playing right now. Seahawks versus Chargers. Chargers season's in jeopardy of being over. Star receiver Michael Williams is definitely going to be out for weeks, so probably around a month or so. Star cornerback J.C. Jackson, their prized cornerback in the offseason, he's out for the year. Keenan Allen's still, kind of trying to recover from his hamstring injury. Bosa's still out, although he should return back soon, but still out. Slater is off. The right tackle's out for the year. The center, who knows how much longer he's going to be out for. It's just too many injuries to overcome for the Chargers, especially when you have a head coach who has questionable play calling decisions. So I feel like they'll be in it. Like it'll take like week 17 or whatever, maybe to like kind of figure it all out. But I do feel like the way it's headed, they're probably going to miss the playoffs again, which would again a big disappointment for the Chargers. And as for the Seahawks, again, congrats for them being first round of division, but not buying my stock in them. They'll be around 500, which is obviously incredible considering I thought they were going to be like a 2-15 type of team this year. Like being around 500, you'll take that, but I just feel um, like against like 49ers and Rams, like their true colors will show in the end there. But and then especially Metcalf being out for a little bit, it's going to hurt them as well. Chiefs versus 49ers. Chiefs got back to balling out on offense here. 49ers, I know, have some injury concerns, especially on defense, but they cannot be in a shootout type of game here. That's not what Jimmy G can do. Jimmy G can't do shootouts. So that'll be interesting to see if when Christian McCaffrey gets more reps and all that, and in more healthy players like a Bosa or Armstead, come back on defense. We'll see how that helps. Steelers versus Dolphins. Pickett made his rookie mistakes, and the Dolphins took advantage of them. But the Dolphins were very lucky to win this game since Tua, especially in the second half, showed some rust, and Mike McDaniels was pulling a Brandon Staley, making some questionable decisions there. Since the AFC East looks like the toughest division in the league, every win is needed for the Dolphins, which are still undefeated with Tua as a starting quarterback. And with the Lions on the horizon, looks like it'll stay that way. Bears versus Patriots. This was a head scratcher type of game, kind of like the Carolina and Tampa Bay. It's a head scratcher. Like, what? Like Belichick usually feasts on young quarterbacks and feasts on rookie head coaches and bad lines and all that. But it's like apparently the Patriots defense forgot that Justin Fields can run with the ball, so you got to keep him in the pocket, not let him escape the pocket and kill you like he did all night. And then also the whole Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones situation. I don't know what's going on there, but they need to figure that out, or otherwise it'll cost them the season. So now it's time to go over my Week 8 NFL predictions. So it's time to go with the Thursday football game between the Ravens and the Buccaneers. The Ravens are 1.5-point favorites on the road here. Even though it's a short week, for the Ravens have to travel on the road here. I'm going to take the Ravens to win. Just the Buccaneers offense is just really bad right now. And while the Ravens secondary can be elite, I do feel like the Ravens will definitely be able to generate enough pass rush to kind of make Tom Brady uncomfortable there. And I think that the Ravens will win by a touchdown here. I have like 17-10. Next, you get the Broncos versus the Jaguars in London. This is a coin flip type of game here. I literally have no idea who's going to win this game. I could see whether Russell Wilson starts or not, although I heard he's probably going to start. But I mean, especially Russell starts. I'm just going to go ahead and take the Broncos here. But again, it can go either way here. I have it. The low scoring game here, I have it being 16-15 as the final score. So Jaguars do not cover the 3-point spread there. Next, you get the Panthers versus Falcons. Falcons 4.5-point favorites there. Again, it's an in-division game. I feel like this is going to be really close. I can see it going either way here. But I feel like the rushing attack of the Falcons would be too much for the Panthers to stop here. So I'm going to have the Falcons win by a field goal 20-17. Next, you get the Bears versus the Cowboys. Cowboys are 10-point favorites here. I feel like that's just a little bit too high, especially with what we've seen for the Bears against the Patriots. So I'm going to say the Cowboys don't cover. But do feel like they'll win here. The problem is it'll just be low scoring because the Cowboys offense has been a struggle and the Bears defense is super good. But now I also feel like the Cowboys defense will, as long as they contain Justin Fields, unlike the Patriots, then they'll handle the Patriots offense, especially with that bad offensive line there. So I do feel like the Cowboys winning home here. I have it with them winning 19-13. Dolphins Lions. Dolphins favored by 3. I'm surprised it's only 3. I feel like the Dolphins will win easily here. The Lions are kind of the same team as last year. I mean, they're obviously a little bit better offensively, but it's just like they're just not good at. I have them winning 38. I mean, the Dolphins winning 38-20. Next, you get the Cardinals versus the Vikings. Vikings are 3.5-point favorites here. Again, this is a coin flip type of game for me. The thing that I like about the Vikings here is they're coming off a bye, um, and it's at home here. So while having Hopkins back helps with the Cardinals and all, I do feel like the Vikings will get the win here. But it'll be a close game. I have a final score being 24-23. Raiders versus Saints. Raiders are 2-point favorites here on the road. Again, this is a coin flip type of game for me. For me, even if like Jarvis Landry and Michael Thomas comes back for the Saints and James Winston plays and all that, just the defense is just super bad right now. And against that Raiders offense, that's just a recipe for disaster, despite being at home here. So I have the Raiders winning by 5, 35-30. Next, you got the Patriots versus the Jets. Patriots are 1.5-point favorites here. Again, this is a coin flip type of game for me. But I just feel like I know Belichick didn't do it last week against the Bears, but again, against young quarterbacks, I feel like he will force um, the Jets into making Zach Wilson beat them. And I feel like the Patriots can win that way. Now, again, the Patriots aren't going to score. This is going to be low scoring games. I don't think the Patriots can do much on offense, whether it's Mac Jones or Zappy. But I feel like the Patriots will get the win here, 16-10. Steelers versus Eagles. Eagles are favored 11 points here. I think they'll cover that. I think, um, again, the Steelers' offense may show some sparks here, but against that Philly defense, especially the Philly secondary, I feel like they'll feast off turnovers that Kenny Pickett has been making since he's been the starter. So I have the Eagles winning 24-9. Titans are 1.5-point favorites versus the Texans. Um, Again, I mean, I'm not. It all depends. Is Malik Willis starting? Ryan Tannehill starting? I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna assume Malik Willis is starting here, and because of that, I'm gonna expect him to go through some ups and downs. So I'm gonna have this be a lower scoring, close game here. But I have the Titans winning 14-13. Next, you're gonna have the Commanders versus the Colts. Colts are. I know it's at Indianapolis, but the Colts are 3-point favorites here, despite Matt Ryan being mentioned, Ellinger being the starter, and Heineke leading the Commanders to a good win last week. But I know it's at home here, but I feel like the Commanders with Heineke, again, against great teams, like Buffalo, Kansas, they're not going to have a shot. But against teams on their level like the Colts, I feel like Heineke has that spark and magic in him to get the job done. I have the Commanders getting the road win here by 1 point, 17-16. 49ers versus the Rams. I know the 49ers had a lot of success against the Rams. Um, but I know but again, McVay off of bye is just hard to pass up here, especially as the Rams. I know it's getting their center back from what I hear. And then the 49ers again still have some injury issues. So I like the Rams winning here just barely, 19-17. Giants versus the Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 3 here. Now, Metcalf being out for this game is not good for the Seahawks. Um, but I actually like the Seahawks to get the upset here. I guess not upset, it's fair to get the win here. I know the Giants have the better record and all that, but I feel like Giants have them traveling all the way out west. 3 time zones away is going to be a factor. And then also just with the way Geno Smith's been playing, he's not going to be careless with the ball, which the Giants kind of thrive off, forcing turnovers and all that. As long as the Seahawks doesn't force turnovers, Geno Smith takes care of the ball. They're going to rely on Kenneth Walker in that running game to get the job done. And I feel like they can. I have them winning 23-20. Because again, Giants are going to win every single close game they ever have. That's just not how it's going to work. There's going to be some losses here and there. Packers versus Bills for Sunday Night Football. I have the Bills to win that easily, 31-10. And Monday Night Football, Bengals and Browns. I have Bengals winning that easily, 28-19. So thank you very much for listening to my picks today. Y'all have a wonderful day.